Hey, it's Mike here, and today another V-Action where I have a live reaction to a ridiculous video, and then I might add some science overdubbed later. And no, this is not real alpaca, it is vegan alpaca because it's a little bit chilly here. And so this is the video that I'm going to be responding to. A vegan diet is saving the world and saving yourself. The title's kind of weird, but I did see that Happy Healthy Vegan, aka Ryan from Happy Healthy Vegan, responded to it. And it's really about debunking Veganuary, allegedly. So let's just have some fun and see what ridiculous stuff they have to say here.
Welcome back. Well, like most people, Rich and I spent the last few weeks stuffing ourselves with turkey and drinking a little too much booze. Well, actually, I'm not sure I did.
Too much booze, yeah. Of course, they have to say how much meat they ate during the holidays to be a vegan and react. But also, this is Piers Morgan, apparently. Maybe he's not on it, we'll see.
I was quite careful, not so sure about you.
I'm a bit worried about my scales,
You went on the scales and then claimed they were broken.
Exactly. Well, you know, I've got to find some excuse.
I have to say...
Oh, you're saying you gained weight from eating turkey, huh?
I have a top tip for that. Have you ever tried moving your scales around the bathroom? Because you can get different results. Like if you move them different places, I got about 5 different results. I'm going with the lowest one. And of course, the start of January always comes with the fun police telling us all that we should be not drinking and going for some Veganuary.
People that want you to be healthy. Oh, Veganuary, here we go.
I am
Really?
Is Veganuary a mistake? Calls to stop butchers during cost of living crisis. Oh, so they're saying that meat, which is a, traditionally very expensive food, is a cost of living crisis issue because we don't want to be eating it. It seems like that'd be a way to save money.
so sure about all
I'm
of that.
not sure at all. I mean, we've got landlords, farmers facing the strain, the cost of living crisis biting.
I love how he named landlords first, like what class of people he's in over there.
Is it really time? Do we just
Poor
look after the health? Or
landlords.
maybe we should look after the pubs and the butchers instead. Well, joining us now is broadcaster, former...
So he is framing Veganuary as an economic attack on people like butchers. I say telling people to not do Veganuary is an economic attack on small plant-based companies. No, that's just a desperate angle. I do believe though, as people eat less and less meat, there should be programs to help people transition careers to deal with this. Not having to chop up dead body parts all day sounds like an improvement though.
Party MEP Alex Phillips and the Talk TV commentator Paula Rhode-Adrien. Great to have you with us for the pack.
And look what treats we've got you. Now we know how to give everyone a good time when they come on.
I want it.
The smell. Really?
Show. Well, what even is it? Perhaps, Alex, you can explain to us what's actually on the menu.
Saving the world.
It's saving
That's
the
what
world.
it is.
And
It's saving the world and it's saving yourself.
From
It's
what?
saving
From
yourself.
Paula.
What is that from?
Oh, this is interesting. Oh, so is this somebody trying to get them to try vegan stuff?
That from cholesterol, from
Oh.
high blood.
So is this your
and
thing?
salt.
She just handed them a vegan sausage roll.
None of that is going to save me. I mean, seriously.
Well, so these look okay. So these are sausage rolls with presumably no pork. I have no idea what that kind of pasty thing is that's going
Okay,
on.
I'm going to be bullish. I'm going to be bullish.
Come on, Richard.
I'm going in. I'm going in.
He's taking the sacrament.
You keep talking, folks.
Well,
This is vegan cheese.
We're literally seeing the lifeblood come back into you.
No, I think
that's what's happening live on air.
Oh, well, the blood is rising in my face.
I want it now.
It's plastic.
I am
It's
seeking
plastic.
vol-
Of course it is, and that's exactly what the last British sausage tester said after he found out that it wasn't vegan meat. You can watch my video on that. Failed the blind taste test, and actually said that it tasted like cardboard after the fact, even though he said it was, quote, meaty and delicious before he knew that it was vegan.
The second one is clearly the real sausage. I could taste the meat in it. It was luscious and lovely. Almost cardboard. Almost
Oh
cardboard.
my gosh.
Call it tissue paper.
So fun stuff. So I'd love to know what he would actually think if it was not known to be vegan. It is the case though that there are going to be some vegan cheeses that are just not that great. There's some non-vegan cheeses that are literally like plastic as well. So
volunteers for this pink thing, matching my shirt. I don't know what it's made of.
yeah.
but
When
anyone
I thought
going
it was
in?
just a load of sort of
No.
processed cow parts or
No,
something, I was for it. Now
I-
I know that it's made of
she was for it because it was processed cow parts.
mould and fungus in a vat in a factory. I'm not.
It's vegan ham, actually.
So she's just because something's made inside of a factory, as if these processed meats don't go to a factory. factory and get processed as well. Just totally just ridiculous.
Just to correct you on that, it's vegan ham.
Right.
Have you ever looked up how they make vegan food though? It is genuinely moulds and fungus and all sorts of weird swill.
So is freaking cheese. Cheese is literally cow excrements with some fungus involved, and that's like the part that people are excited about. But then as soon as you have some fungi related thing, I'm sure she loves to eat mushrooms, but then as soon as you have, you know, a couple fungi related ingredients in some fake meat, then fungi is a problem.
Oh, now you tell me. I've just eaten some of it.
I know.
But it's also about sustainability, though, on a
Thank
serious
you.
note. It's about sustainability. It's about us trying to find
Love her earrings. Plants, they're little plant leaves.
new ways in which we're going to keep the planet alive and ourselves.
Yes,
because
those-
we're not going to starve to death.
Only empathetic thing I've heard said so far.
Thanks to climate change, etc., we're not going to be seeing masses of refugees coming across the channel because we've got crickets now that we can eat. We've got ants.
Oh, she's pro cricket. Interesting. I wonder what her actual diet is. Paula Rhode-Adrien. Because she's telling people to eat bugs, which is obviously not a vegan thing. I mean, some vegans would definitely rather people eat bugs. If I had to choose between eating bugs and people eating mammals, just because I'm speciesist, I'm trying to get over it, yeah, I'd probably be like, move to bugs. But I think it's gross either way.
I mean,
Paula, what's
we've got-
more sustainable than a wonderful beef herd of Aberdeen Angus creating delicious meat when they're grass-fed?
What's more sustainable than a herd of Angus beef cow? Well, first of all, they're, as you already know, a leading emitter of greenhouse gases in terms of just the amount of CO2 equivalents that are emitted per pound. Here is a chart of proteins and their emissions, and we can see nuts down there at like carbon negative, and you go up and up and up and up and up, and then you've got beef. Now the highest ones here are ruminants, and he's saying what's more sustainable, and then you might be thinking, oh well, you know, grass-fed is going to be more sustainable. Well, compared to grain-fed, out of the animal's mouth, you're getting about 3.5 times more methane, which is that powerful greenhouse gas, in the grass-fed ones than the grain-fed ones, which is still pretty mind-boggling, yet he thinks there's nothing more sustainable than a field of cows just spewing a bunch of this stuff.
Myself up for something here because you started talking about insects and
Yes.
things. So next time I have to say we will have a plate full of insects for you.
We're going to do it. Alex, you and I, we can do it.
I went to one of those restaurants.
And somehow that would be less disgusting for them than the vegan sausage rolls.
You're the first
not
and the
good.
cute. I actually I agree with you on some of this. I'm not so keen on the whole vegan thing, but definitely we should be eating less meat. And
It's always the I'm moderate, blardy blur, not keen on the vegan thing, but less meat. And I'm happy that she's saying eat less meat at all. But it seems like the vast majority of people who are, you know, moderately saying, you know, think about eating a little bit less meat are pretty much just eating the same diet that they've already always been eating. Who knows? You know, they're kind of claiming to be reducitarians, but in my completely subjective, non-scientific opinion, they tend to just eat as much meat as they want to.
I don't think that's going to.
But the thing is about this vegan trend that people don't understand, and also, you know, what do you think powers those factors? Happiness and joy and goodwill for the environment? Of course it doesn't.
So she's trying to say, you know, appeal to futility. No matter what product you're going to be making, if it's in a factory at least, then it's automatically going to be negative for the planet. Well, again, we have lower emissions from these products than the animal products, which are shipped all over the place as well and emit greenhouse gas emissions directly from the animal, and on and on and on, not to mention all the deforestation that occurs and just land use, water use, 1/3 of our fresh water, 30% of our ice-free land. I could go on forever.
Wind.
The thing is about stuff like, it gives you wind, I'm sure.
And when it's not,
Of course,
exactly.
yeah,
That'll give me
plenty.
plenty of wind later on.
The thing is about these
How bad is this to the research from this study? Add a bunch of beans to people's diet, and 1/3 of people will report more farts in the first week, meaning 2/3 of people don't experience any difference, and as time goes on, that goes down to basically nothing a few weeks out. And as this study found, a fiber-enriched Mediterranean diet resulted in flatulence for some, but that appeared to represent a shift to a healthier microbiome. However, as they say, the effects of the diet were less evident in individuals with robust microbiotas with healthier diversity who actually have fiber in their diet already, probably. And to turn it all around, meat and egg farts smell way worse. And Harvard health experts have recommended cutting down on those animal foods to lower fart odor. So take that. It's scary that anyone would have that dramatic of a reaction from eating, one serving of some plant food. I'm concerned about her digestive system then.
Ben, look, these health fads, the big food industry jumps on them. They did it with low fat, they're doing it with veganism. They try and make you feel like you're going to be healthier, it's going to be better for the world. It's just a way for them to sell more ultra-processed rubbish.
Okay, so this is interesting. I do agree that a lot of these large corporations have jumped on veganism and sold ultra-processed foods and tried to make them out to be healthier. Alternatives, which in most cases, I think virtually all cases, they are healthier alternatives. Just looking at the amount of saturated fat, the fact that the saturated fat is not coming from animals because, animal-based saturated fat, especially from meat, can have a higher LDL or bad cholesterol raising effect than, say, that of coconut oil. We've seen butter versus coconut oil. Butter will raise your LDL higher, calorie per calorie, than coconut oil will. It might just have to do with the length of chains of fatty acids or whatever. Even the heme iron in the Impossible Burger is allegedly less oxidative than the heme iron meat. And sometimes, as I've said before, some of these quote-unquote weird additives like lecithin is something that you can actually give people to lower cholesterol, which is crazy. So yes, if it has a lot of sugar and salt and all that stuff, which isn't going to be good no matter what. Even though it's already added to a bunch of products that have animal products, just because it's vegan doesn't mean that it's going to be healthy, but that doesn't mean that a processed vegan food is less healthy than an animal-based food. That was a lot.
Make a profit. It doesn't make people healthier. It doesn't move the needle on climate change at all.
We don't have data, obviously, on what people are eating this year and their long-term effects, but just in terms of looking to the Adventists who did have some processed meats, they were eating some soy protein isolate, textured vegetable protein type stuff, as well as some of those early cheese replacements, and yet they had like 75% lower diabetes. Their obesity rate was way lower, and high blood pressure rate 70% lower. So we're seeing a health improvement anyway. And being vegan, also, she's just completely equating vegan, total straw man, that vegan is you have to eat these processed meat things that she's trying to present. This other woman is trying to present as like, hey, you can still eat some of the same foods, but obviously on a vegan diet, you can be eating whole foods, whole plant foods that are healthier for you. You don't have to be eating the least healthy ultra-processed foods out there, which is total false equivalency. And she says going vegan doesn't move the needle on climate change at all. I was talking kind of over her, but this is an absurd statement when you know about the animal ag effects that we previously mentioned. It's just a completely unbacked claim, and also annoying that vegan choices can't move the needle on climate change, but do move the needle on the economy. So either they make a difference or they don't. Make up your mind.
It's a con.
But we know that
it's definitely not a con. It's definitely not. It's like she's not mad at all about these large, at least in this particular instance, not showing any, anger toward these large animal corporations that are also trying to con you based off the idea that they're saying it's healthy when it's not. That's apparently her level that needs to be reached for a con. They're saying it's healthy when it's not. Well, guess what? All of these animal products, people are selling processed meat, class 1A carcinogens as like health food, or even superfoods. I've seen them written as. So yeah.
Type 2 diabetes is one of the biggest killers now that we're confronting. We're like third in Europe in terms of obesity.
Here we go. Oh, she's talking about, he doesn't care at all that this other woman is just pooping on eating plants, and then she mentions one health thing. Here we go.
We're gonna move on.
No way. They literally cut her off. Oh my gosh. So that was quite ridiculous. I don't know if the rest of that clip existed with her talking about diabetes, or if he was literally just like, oh, you're done. We're done here now that you're actually about to make a real point. Because the point that she was probably making is that people who eat a vegan diet have insanely lower levels of type 2 diabetes, which is a huge problem in the UK, a huge problem in the US. We're talking about leading cause of disability and, all of these complications and death. And so he's just like, shoots her down. Like, I don't even want to hear it. I don't want to hear any bad news about my bad habits. He just wanted to hear good news, of course, from that blonde woman who he let talk way more, I think. Maybe that was just in my head. And just in terms of the animals, they were talking about all the turkey that they ate. Well, sadly, generally about 70 million turkeys are killed over the holidays in the US, at least, obviously larger worldwide. Just had to mention that. Beautiful animals. But yeah, summing up here, ridiculous points. Obviously, they're just triggered by Veganuary, trying to say that a field of Angus cattle is somehow sustainable. Completely ridiculous. I mean, we have herds of cattle in the Amazon, especially too, where we've deforested at least 80% of it to feed those cattle. You know, we're talking about the lungs of the earth being destroyed because of cattle farming. You know, as this paper highlights, that's not even an exaggeration. And, you know, so he'll make some points like that and then not even let the other woman speak more than 1 or 2 sentences here. So really frustrating. And I hope you enjoyed watching this, you know, organic reaction. Let me know down below if there are any other good points that you would add. Feel free to like and subscribe, and let me know if there are other videos like this that you want me to respond to. Generally, like well under 10 minutes is probably the best for this format because I have too much to say about everything. And of course, feel free to like, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in the next one. Thanks for watching.